Alright, legends. So we're going to talk about this new Crow movie that's on the way. The trailer dropped not so long ago. I haven't really been too curious to talk about this. For me, I don't really want to write the film off completely before I've seen it. I will go to the cinema on the opening weekend, check it out, give it a fair chance. But for me, The Crow is one of these movies that just happened at a good time for me in my life. Whenever I seen it, it just hit home in a big bad way. And the original is just one of these movies that just feels like it should not be touched. And I know the director of the original movie has come out, said something similar to that it should just be left as like a legacy to Brandon Lee. It's kind of where I stand at in the movie. Well, not kind of, it's exactly where I stand at in the movie. For me, The Crow, as far as a movie goes, should, if they're going to continue it on, continue it. Don't reboot it. Let Eric Draven be the tribute to Brandon Lee. I think that's where, like, this movie, when it comes out, even if it's a hit, I think the core audience for the movie might not go to see it just to, put their vote on with their cash, more or less. Part of me kind of wants to do that too. Just let it have its cinema run. And when it comes to streaming or DVD, whatever, we'll get it then, check it out. But, it is what it is. One of these things that I didn't think was going to happen. And if it did happen, I kind of, just continue The Crow with a different character instead of Eric Draven. But they're going down the Eric Draven, Shelley Webster story again with Bill Skarsgård and the role of Eric Draven. That's a brave manoeuvre for an actor to do this. As I say, Brandon Lee losing his life in the original Crow. Just, it seems, the character just seems sacred at this point. Now, I know someone's going to pop up in the comments and say, what about Stairway to Heaven? Of course, that was Eric Draven's, the character of Eric Draven as well, and a TV show based on The Crow. That was more palatable to me and the existing fan base in my mind, because it was a show based on the movie. Same character, but it wasn't a movie. It was a TV show based on the movie. So it was its own thing. It wasn't taken away from the original. But a remake of the movie at this point is kind of just almost, writing off the original movie. So I think The Crow 2024, or whenever this is going to be released, is going to feels like it's going to make the same mistake as Ghostbusters 2016, not respecting what came before it. The Crow, as it went through different movies and whatnot, was always a similar story but a different character, and The Crow bringing somebody else back. It was never somebody else doing the Eric Draven character. It was another person, another story. Just The Crow was the running theme in there of bringing a tortured soul back to put right what once went wrong. So that's pretty much a long-winded way of saying this is a movie I don't think should have been made. And I'm not holding my breath for it. As I say, I will go and check it out. We have, of course, Bill Skarsgård as Eric Draven, FKW Twigs as Shelley Webster, Danny Houston as... Now, I'm just going by the trailer from what I'm seeing. So, Danny Houston, I'm not sure where he's going to stand at as whether he's going to be the policeman character in this movie, or from what the vibe the trailer gave me, is he could be the big bad in this movie. That as the linchpin behind everything that happened. Isabella Way is in there. She could be that sidekick character to the big bad like we had in the original one. Yeah, so Laura Byrne and Jordan Bolger is in there as well. Basically, the only thing IMDb is giving away for it at the minute was, and I'll just read it here: soulmates Eric Draven and Shelley Webster are brutally murdered when the demons of her dark past catch up with them. Given the chance to save his true love by sacrificing himself, Draven returns to seek revenge against the killers, traversing the worlds of the living and the dead to put the wrong things right. So when it says traversing, is he able to go back and forth between the spirit realm and the living? That would be an interesting twinge to what we know from the original movie. I'll give it that. But yeah, tough to say. I am, in all fairness, fairly curious to check it out, see how they do with it. But for me, this is something that a lot of people have been saying, and something that kind of jumped out at me whenever I first seen the on-set photographs of Skarsgård and the crew makeup, and not as eye-catching as the original makeup, and the fact that he hasn't got the long hair, the rock and roll vibe just doesn't jump out from this crew here. It's very much a gothic character. You know, the original Eric Draven was a rock star that was killed. Never went into how big a rock star he was, but he had a band, got killed, so he was the rock and roll kind of vibe to him, kind of gothic-y style, long rock and roll hair, which is something that you always kind of associated with anybody that played the crew, other than the Crew's Salvation, the third movie in the run. The crew in that one, not really the long rock and roll hair, but there's kind of like a bit of length to it. But it's just, I don't know. He looks more like this cut that he's got, this haircut Skarsgård was rocking in this movie. It reminds me a wee bit more of T-Bird with the wee fringe from the original movie. So I don't know. It is what it is. The budget, $50 million, which isn't major for a movie these days, but yeah, unfortunately, not having good vibes about this one at all. The trailer kind of goes, you can see the original crew in this trailer. From what you're seeing, you can kind of get the vibe of where they're at in the story compared to the original one. But again, one of these things that I think just should have been left alone. And if you were going to do another crew movie, just do another continuation of it. We already have 3 other crew movies, plus I think it's 3 other. I need to look that up. After the original crew, I think there was 3 more than the TV series. Nothing was as iconic as that original movie, but yes, we'll just have to see how it goes.